Hello, Brad. We've discussed in the pre-show about the topic we want to speak here today, and we decided upon sustainable business practices. So, what you have on your mind about that topic?
Well, it's interesting, Philip, and thank you very much for having me today. Yeah, the first thing that popped into my mind was like stop the bottleneck in business. So it's just I always say to people in business, I go, there's three signs that you want to look for to find out if you're the bottleneck. So number one would be only you approve the big decisions.
Yeah.
So business stops waiting, business stops and it's waiting until you're ready to make that big decision. Number two is everyone asks you for the answer. This one is very, very common. This
Mhm.
is usually the result. Well, this is the result, not usually. This is the result
Mhm.
when a company grows and the founder or the person that, like I said, that has the business and the business has grown, they're basically becoming a victim of their own success. So they've always done it this way. The business has grown. They've gotten some more people, but they still don't know any other way. So if you're the one that's like everybody come to you and you're like, God, I can't get anything done because everybody keeps wanting me to do their thinking for them. Oh, wait a minute. That's would be another strong indicator that you're the bottleneck. And the third one I had was, you leave at night and think nothing gets done unless I'm the one that goes after it, or like I'm the one that starts it, and I'm the one that sparks it. So if any or all three would somebody relates to, there's one quick fix that they can start to turn that tide, and that would be like just pick a task that you handle every day and delegate it. Like set somebody up to do that particular task, take that one thing off your plate, let's see what happens. And it's just one of those ways that you can just start the process, see what that like. It's like taking a car for a test drive. You're not so sure if you want it, but take this new routine for a test drive. What are your thoughts? Like I saw you nodding your head. You're probably like poof. Like I've had a whole bunch of those.
Yeah, this is definitely spot on. The problem we already mentioned it in the pre-show. Generally, what is the bottleneck of? We cannot say every, but significant amount, sometimes even majority of micro to small business owners is lack of delegation. Primarily, they're nurturing the squatting micromanager in themselves, and that is the problem. Especially, you can see so many businesses which are from solopreneurs to several employees. And after that, business explodes, expanding. You go to the 10, 15, 20 plus employees, and the patterns stayed the same. And you see, as you said, the primary bottleneck is the individual who is also the CEO, the owner, and an individual who generally manages in that terms everything. Surely that individual knows everything about the business, but the point is, as you mentioned, in the delegation. So it needs to be made on time with adequate personnel and team resources because that is a prerequisite for any kind of growth and business expansion, especially if we are seeing some business as a potential system which will be maybe in some moment in time in the future ready for sale because nobody's actually buying necessarily only the business as a business, but the system. And that is crucial component in overall decision making process when you are as a potential buyer of the business of the company is making that relevant decision opposite of numbers which are definitely relevant, but you want to know what is actually happening and how a system works because in the end as new owner who is buying the business want to know how things are operating even without the business owner because you're not buying a business so you can be in chains. You want to buy a business so you can drive meaningful profit and generate growth, value, and everything else. So that is my 2 cents on that respectable component as you mentioned. So micromanagement in the end. One thing I would definitely love to hear more is component of time management overall, which is directly connected to the bottleneck you mentioned.
No, 100%. And those are great points. And you're absolutely right. I mean, before I get into time management, I'll just say this is that, think about your business as a franchise. When you look at any franchise, you're buying a system, it's a turnkey situation.
Yeah,
So you will know how to operate in all seven departments of the company, and you know how everything works, and they get you. That's why people choose the franchise model, which is fine. But in the absence of this, I always say that you can always tell, if the business is got great systems and a good communication highway, is can the owner, like the top person, can they step away? And if you don't notice any difference in the company running, that's a good system.
yeah.
When you have a leader just say, well, nothing gets done unless I'm here, that's a bad system. In fact, that's no system at all.
No system at all.
But
Yeah,
time management, as a coach, time management is number one. It is people. I don't have enough hours in the day, which drives me crazy when people say that. This gets eaten up on my time, and they explain it like things are happening to them, and that's
yeah,
not correct. They're making decisions, poor ones, when they're talking like that. And so there's a few things that I always recommend is people can be very reactionary in business. Would you not agree? Like they
Exactly.
just if they go into whack-a-mole. I like that game whack-a-mole, and they get a bit problem, and they're solving and they're jumping and and then they go, oh, the day's gone. Well, you didn't get into business to work 16 to 18 hours a day. You did it because you thought, oh, I'll get some freedom, I can work for myself, I'll benefit from these kind of things. So I would say, okay, well, first of all, when these kind of things happen, like life happens, but unless it's a Mack truck rolling down a hill at you, you don't need to react now. You don't. So I always introduce what I call the stop gate. It's a 3 minute process. The stop gate goes in, you exercise the 3 minutes, mandatory. And I use 3 minutes as that gives you enough time for you to get your balance. Like just
Yeah,
like calm down here. And then what am I going to do? How does this impact my day? What do I need to tell future me? I always love saying that. What are you going to tell future me for when I get back to my desk or get back to the shop or whatever your deal is, and how you progress on from there? The the thing that people need to understand, when you're in victim mode, things happen to you. But I coach for people. I say you need to command your day. It's a
yeah,
totally different way of looking at things. Is how you have it structured. And yes, I will say is I'm not ignorant to the fact that you have anomalies. I just finished saying when they show up, that doesn't mean you have to jump off the chair and light your hair on fire. Does that resonate with you?
absolutely. This reminded me of a specific situation I often share with my mentees, our clients. Overall, it's a real life example, my personal experience. When I started my business 16 plus years ago now, ooh, already, I was an always available guy. Big leap until today and big leap forward, a guy who is not so available. Not because I'm an arrogant asshole. No, I have my priorities in check and regularly and regular checkups. I always do practice a regular quarterly review of my time, dedication, the focus, and everything, and definitely until the end, when a year business year finishes, once more entire year review. And that is for me a foundation and fundamental thing I do as the preparation for the next year because I want to know what was happening, what were the results, my commitment and dedication to this specific project for this venture, that venture, etc., etc., etc. In the end, you have your roadmap in terms of clear goals. Every effort, every venture, everything what you are looking for and striving for demands time, focus, and dedication. So you just need to set up your priorities and act accordingly. The act accordingly portion is the hardest one for sure. Like you said, it's people often, as you mentioned, are in reactive mode. Whatever is happening to them, resolve the pain points, bottlenecks, challenges, numerous phone calls in a day, and they finish the day, they resolved a bunch of stuff, but not priorities, not the ones which were the most crucial for their business. And I know crazy amount of businesses which are stagnating through years because that the same bad business practice happening in continuity without optimization and without checkup, without accountability. So they've emphasized and put out there some goals, but their actions are not following those goals. It's a big discrepancy. What you can expect if you're not actually working towards what you desire or set up as something you want to reach with your hands. So
Yeah. Look, Philip, you wouldn't be shocked about how many people actually don't have a strategy plan, don't have a plan in general.
absolutely.
It's we want to make money, we want to make profit is not a plan, that's a wish. So, you said it beautifully. I just put that all together going, check your compass. Check your compass. Like, do you know where you're going? Like, is it on point? But if you don't have a plan, well, then you could be heading north expecting to get to a sunny beach. But guess what? You're going the wrong way, generally speaking. Anyway, no,
And,
there's that, and one thing I'm going to pile on that, Philip, is when disaster strikes. Okay, now I'm an old ops guy, right? So I've lived this. So I'm not on my soapbox. The reason that I can have these sessions with you and talk about these things is because I lived most of them. So I'm not perfect. It's because I'm not perfect that I'm good at what I do, is because I get it. I know what's going on. And it's when these things happen. And as an ops guy, we used to like, okay, I pull in the resources I need. I need to solve this. We get it solved, and then we go, okay, go, go, go. The problem is that we didn't do a post-mortem afterwards, right? There was no time set to go back and go, what happened? In companies, I find, especially companies that have a victim mindset, like I said earlier about like the day gets away from me, blah blah. They're just victims. It's a blame culture.
Yeah.
Well, this went wrong because so and so didn't, and then the finger pointing starts, right? So in my organizations, I absolutely was not interested in this nonsense chase of blame. Not interested. I'm a solutions guy. I want solutions. That's what I'm looking for. And when you do the postmortem and you answer the questions of what happened, the whole point is that I want to avoid this from happening again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like saying, oh, I'll remember that this week was really hot. Like next year, I will remember that's why revenue was down, or that's why revenue was up. And then next year comes along, and well, what was it? Well, I don't really remember. Do you remember what you had for lunch last Tuesday? Like, I don't. So it's you're 100% right as far as getting these things and doing the review. I love the fact when you said like quarterly, brilliant, 100%. It's just you if you're slightly off course and you catch it early enough, it's a minor adjustment. But if you don't and you straight off here, it can lead to bankruptcy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this reminded me of one thing I wanted also to mention today. General business predictability in terms of revenue, cash flow, new opportunities, and what is actually going on. Big amount of businesses, no matter the size, are actually the victims of their own success. To many business owners, business happened. So it's not that they didn't do all what was in their power to do something in terms of business growth, etc., etc., etc. But simply they were more lucky than productive and creating new business opportunities similar. And then
Yes.
they decided upon previous experience, that is our fundamentals, that is a baseline. We cannot go below that. And that is how things are being done. And that is directly impacting on the set of activities for the future. Like you mentioned, a strategy and action. And it's crazy because those businesses are actually, when they are on the downturn, then they're deciding to do something meaningful about the strategy and everything else. But already in that moment, it's very detrimental situation. They don't have the cash flow nor the power to do meaningful steps. And that is something what I often see, no matter the industry. So lack of strategy, lack of overall planning, and bad patterns, and enough luck on the road. So they think, okay, this is something what we can use as the baseline. But the point is, significant, a very important thing people are forgetting about today, what we are experiencing now and today is our past work. So they become very comfortable with the great state of the business and everything and stop with the necessary activities which actually before secured this active and ongoing situation.
Yeah.
So,
No, Philip, that just brought back so many memories because I had this one CEO that I really respected, and he once said, instead of waiting until money gets tight and we're struggling to go and start to research this and get some outside help, he says, why not when times are good? Spend a bit of money and let's review and like, are we okay? And where are we going? Like, where are we now? But where are we
yeah,
going? So that was 100% bang on because it's so sad. And I mean this sincerely because I came from an entrepreneurial family and I saw my dad struggle. So I know that when cash flow is tight and you're struggling and now you're looking for help, not to say that that's a bad thing to do. Of course, you should be looking for help, but I understand when it's just like, wait a minute, how much? That's going to cost how much? Will it work? Will it work fast? And you're like, if you're looking for a silver bullet, I'm really sorry to tell you, it doesn't exist. There are uh, companies out there that may market on selling hope, and but that's it's hope and a prayer is if you need I need results in like 30 days. I'm really sorry to tell you, the kind of help that you're looking for in those 30 days is most likely not going to happen. So it's like with marketing, like you're the pro in marketing. And I know for heaven's sake, like you can't put a marketing plan in the 30 days, go, well, where's the money? You're 7, 8 months away from it really catching on. So that's what I was thinking about, Philip, is speaking about your backyard, but that's what I was thinking about when I go, it's just when times are good, that is a really great opportunity for you guys to
yeah.
like reinvest in yourselves in the company.
Yeah, you can only in that respectable moment you can actually be objective enough and pour the cash, effort, and energy into doing something meaningful. And I remember so many situations, both on the business development side, the marketing activities, everything else. People who were initially speaking about long-term understanding of long-term commitment, engagement, investment, etc., 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 and then in the next sentence, they're mentioning quick wins. It's the mirror opposite. So immediately they gave you relevant information what they're actually expecting. You just need to give them 2 more minutes to explain. And then you can navigate and primarily manage the expectations. Other way around, you're entering some crazy engagement with crazy expectations for results which aren't achievable in that respectable time frame. It's impossible. Like you said, you practically a bunch of businesses which are looking for an optimal solution for their lack of doing in the past 5 to 10 years. Bravo! Wish you good luck.
Well, just for anybody listening to this, as I would say this is my strongest advice for you is to um, sit down and at least write out where are you now. Like try to be as detailed as you can. Like okay, we're a business that does X amount. We have if you have multiple locations, X amount of employees, blah blah blah. Then assuming you're the founder, you might think back to kind of go, what did I want to do? Like where was I going? Like what was the whole goal of this? Well, the whole goal was is that you'd have more time with the family and go on some trips and have that financial well wherewithal to, do what you wanted, and that's perfectly fine. But it's getting out of your head, Philip. I mean, it's many times this is our own worst enemy. And when we battle
Yeah.
it out between our ears, and anytime I'm working with a client, is my famous comment to them is like, could you please write that down? Could you please write that down? Is get it on paper. Why? Because A, it can't change in a nanosecond, but it can here. Number two is you can look at it and analyze it. To your point, that if you did the math on some of the things that you're asking to be done, and understood how the mechanics of that math works, you'd know damn well that you're way off base. So I'm just saying to anybody listening, start getting things written down. Where are you at? Then you would be like, well, where should we be, or where do we want to be? And then you do that gap analysis, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where you start to heal, and then start to work out a plan, because it all starts with steps. When you're great, I mean, it's just, try. People look at Everest and like all the things they have to do, and they freak themselves out. I go, even the people that climb Everest, one step. Oh, that's cliche, and that doesn't help me. Actually, it should, because if you're stressed, you're living in the future.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I'd like to have my clients realize is stress and action can't exist at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you're stressed, that means you've paused, you've stopped, and you're just focused on the cliff that you're about to go over, and that's all you're looking at. Yeah, you'll be stressed, all right. But if you take the action, like I just mentioned, it's like, can you just like stop, get a document open, get a pad of paper if that's your deal, and start. Where are we? Like what's going on, and be as objective as possible. We have tight cash flow. Fine, write down tight cash flow. Go right ahead. And that's when you can really start to mend the fence.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing also I wanted to emphasize when we were talking about sustainable business practices, many business owners are struggling with simply accepting an acceptance of their business as a living tissue. What that means? They're perceiving their actual state and services they're providing at the moment as something what is strict, impossible to be changed, enhanced, and similar. Point is, market is a living tissue, and you, as the expert, are actually following the demands of the market. And it is completely normal for your business to change over time. I'm saying that directly from my experience. I started 16 plus years ago as a system engineer. I was having an MSP company providing MSP services. From that to growth marketing agency to other ventures. And that was a big leap of cumulative experience, knowledge, expertise, new resources. And it is a transformation. Business should accept transformation on the go. I know so many companies which are struggling with that specific component, constantly saying, yeah, in our time, in this and that, that was working. I don't know what's happening now. Times are changing. You need to adapt your business or you will stay behind. It's so simple. If you're not progressing, you're stagnating by default. And that is a fundamental thing many business owners are generally forgetting about.
Yes. Yeah. It's yeah, being busy isn't exactly a good thing at times.
Yeah.
It's not hard to be busy, but remember, you and I were chatting about productivity. Like, are you being productive? A lot of this too stems from trust. It's the person. No one will do it as well as I do. Can usually handcuff somebody as far as that delegation process. And I was a prime candidate for that in my management career, Philip. I'm telling you, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I did think that way. Like, oh well, I'll just do it because nobody can do it as well as I can. Then when I took a course to become a master instructor, and
Mhm.
and the adult learning was huge for me. That I started to understand more and more about how to develop people. And so pushing up your people became second nature to me. It took time, but it came second nature. And I take a lot of pride, hence why I do what I do today,
Yeah.
is that I love working with somebody and helping them get better, stronger. And I say, like, I when you work with you and I, things have to improve. That's the requirement. Like, it's we have to achieve the goal.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
trust is a big thing. I find,
Yeah.
anyways, is
Yeah.
just trusting
It is.
yourself about developing your people, and that communication. It's not trivial. It's very important. Um, People with um, well, there's no problems in the company because nobody's told me anything. Well, that is going on with a company I'm working with right now, and it's
Hmm.
because they're scared of this individual because he has a bad temper. And I'm just like, well, no wonder nobody's
Oh.
telling you anything. When your team is quiet and they don't say much, that's a sign right there. That's
A
and
big
and
one.
let me I can make this very, very simple for everybody listening. Is this go with this? If the team is not performing in a manner that you had projected in your head, it's you. You're the problem. I guarantee it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are 100% right. That crazy expectations and also all relevant resources given to your employees, contractors, so they can actually do the action. And that is often happening. I saw that way too often in businesses, setting up the wrong expectations, and then yeah, everything is uh, a problem in that moment. And then you are having an internal battles. Also, one thing this reminded me of what I wanted to emphasize that is the fact of in terms of building your own team. You can see that in public, generally on social media, the discussion about entrepreneurial development in the company. Many companies are not doing it right. Point is that we're talking there about the accountability and the scepter of power given to the individual who can actually act as a manager in his respectable field of expertise, the scope, while you are there only as the owner, a supportive entity if they need additional resources, some guidance, help, and support, but you allow that person to strive to move forward, make relevant business decisions without you. A bunch of people are perceiving their business, okay, this is now the ongoing stage and phase. I want to do the exit. And they put a time frame on their exit without resolving the fundamentals in terms of setting up the right system nor the right resources in the right places. Often, the legacy roles. If somebody is not suitable for management role, why you are pushing that role for that individual? Because chronologically speaking, that is a person who is the longest in company. Is that a criteria? No. Those who are proactive, productive, and who actually have adequate set in compound skills which can secure sustainable business growth, expansion, and even allow for the individual to do something what I like the most. Exit without the exit. Because a bunch of businesses are being sold because owners are done. They have depleted.
Yeah.
Point is, if you're able to set up sustainable business as a standalone entity, you can focus your energy and effort on building a new one and a new one and new one. The problem there is often how hungry the individual is, and that is very often detrimental. Lack of system, being overly hungry compared to actually what you need. Yeah.
No, I completely concur. It's it's, like I would always tell people, leave on a high.
Yeah.
I think that would be the goal. And I always think, like, for me, time is more important than money. It really is. You can always make more money. So the last thing I'll say on this is this point is getting clear, like, why are you doing this? What is it that you want to achieve? And to your point, you should always have a succession and exit strategy. So the succession strategy, is for, when you're giving up on this particular thing, or that person, if that person leaves, who's taking over, all those kind of things. Because as a human being, we're not good at everything.
Yeah.
That's clearly what the case is. So, you hire people to join your organization to take on particular areas, especially ones that perhaps you're not very good at. So, therefore, get out of the way, provide the direction of what you require, and get out of the way. Let them do their thing, to your earlier point. So, just in closing, I would say, when you're clear, it becomes obvious what you need to do. Then it's possible to take those next steps. But while you're in the juice and you don't understand, you got your head so far in the juice container you can't see the label. Yeah, it's always going to seem a mystery, and you've been dealt a hard blow, and this is terrible. No, it can happen. Quiet the mind, get back, and get clear. To my earlier point, is just simply like, where are you at? Where are we going? And it'll
Yeah.
start making a lot more sense. It might be daunting, but that's fine because life's not easy. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. I think we pretty much went through the topic for today quite right. Do you agree with me?
Oh, 100%. Our next one should be on employees, like the hiring
Oh,
process and
awesome.
pushing up your people. We should probably do something like that in the future, eh?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. Anyway, just wanted to give an info to our audience where people can actually find us. For sure, on LinkedIn, searching for Brett Halliwell and Phil Zolota, and with that on our fractional.ceo website. It was a true pleasure, Brad, and I'm looking for the next one.
Thank you, Philip. That was awesome.
See you. Take care.
You
Bye.
bet.